Hello there, and welcome to Beyond the Box, the Pandora's Code Companion podcast. You know, I've always had this dream of writing a book before I turned 30. Not just any book, but something that really mattered to me. A spark ignited when I made a video where I faked my life for a month using AI. And it wasn't long before I found myself irresistibly drawn to this fascinating field. That spark became a flame, leading to my new book, Pandora's Code, decrypting the history, benefits, and dangers of AI. But there was more to say, more to unravel, more to explore. That's why I'm here with this podcast. Together, we're going to explore the rich tapestry of AI's history, the remarkable benefits, and the hidden dangers. Through my own journey and the meticulous research that led to my book, we'll dive into what AI really means for us today and tomorrow. This isn't about interviews or guests. This is you and me. Together, we'll delve into the world of AI in all its complexity. We'll witness the extraordinary innovations and confront the ethical dilemmas. And in the process, we'll not only explore a subject that's become a passion of mine, but uncover a story that's shaping all our lives. So sit back and join me on this exciting voyage beyond the box. Let's decrypt it one episode at a time. Now let's delve into the ancient tales and scriptures, back to a time steeped in mysticism, where the line between reality and legend was often blurred. We're journeying to a period where our ancestors sought solace and explanation for the world around them in stories that were shared from generation to generation, from family hearth to communal gatherings. The setting is medieval Europe, a time of mystics and scholars, a place where Jewish communities thrived in pockets, creating a rich tapestry of culture, tradition, and folklore. Our focus is the intriguing tale of the Golem, a tale deeply rooted in Jewish mysticism. The Golem is a fascinating figure, a creature formed from lifeless clay and mud, yet brought to life by holy men who could manipulate the very fabric of existence. The Golem, they were told, was not just an animated mound of clay, but a being capable of tasks, mimicking actions and decisions, almost human but not quite. This extraordinary being was said to be controlled by a holy incantation, the Shem, which was placed on or inside it. This incantation, carefully crafted and imbued with divine power, held the secret to animating the inanimate. Envision the scene, a holy man, deeply engrossed, his hands etching the Shem, his heart echoing with prayers, and before him the lifeless form of the Golem, ready to be awakened. But why a Golem? What purpose did it serve? Often, it was created to serve and protect its community, to labor and to guard. However, despite its might and strength, the Golem was often depicted as a being bereft of free will or a soul. It was a creature of obedience, carrying out tasks as commanded. The Golem thus stood at the crossroads of servitude and autonomy, a creature born out of the human desire to harness and shape life itself. These tales of the Golem echo a profound longing that resides in the heart of humanity, the aspiration to create, to breathe life into the lifeless, to mold matter into a form that thinks, reacts, and interacts like us. As we explore this tale, we recognize it as an early echo of our modern quest for artificial intelligence, an ancient longing to craft not just tools but partners and protectors. So let us sit by the fireside of the past and listen to the whispers of the ancient storytellers as they speak of a creature born of clay and divine incantation. As we listen, let us marvel at the dreams and ambitions of our ancestors, for they hold a mirror to our own aspirations today, a mirror reflecting our unending quest to create an entity in our own likeness. Meanwhile, on the sunlit shores of ancient Greece was a land that was a hotbed of intellectual ferment, where philosophers debated the nature of the universe, where artists and architects were carving their visions into marble, creating timeless masterpieces that still leave us breathless today. In this vibrant setting of myth and legend, we encounter Hephaestus, the divine blacksmith. Now, Hephaestus, the son of Zeus and Hera, was a complex figure, a god of fire. He was physically imperfect by the standards of his divine brethren, yet gifted with incredible craftsmanship. This god, working in his divine forge, was not just creating jewelry or thunderbolts, he was creating living, moving beings out of gold. Picture now being an ancient Greek. In a world where the concept of autonomous machines was as fantastical as the gods who were said to create them. Imagine the whispers of these golden beings moving of their own volition, aiding their master Hephaestus in his smithing work. These were not just inert statues. They were imbued with a purpose, a task, a semblance of life and will that made them seem almost human, but not quite. How would such stories make you feel as an ordinary human living in Athens or Sparta? To the Greeks, these automatons were the epitome of divine power and ingenuity, objects of awe, perhaps even fear. These tales were not mere stories. They were a testament to the capabilities of the divine, a stark reminder of the gulf between mortal men and their immortal gods. And yet, these tales of Hephaestus's creations hold a deeper resonance. They speak to a human curiosity that transcends time and space. This was the yearning to create, to bring life to the lifeless, to break the barrier between the divine and the mortal. The thought of crafting beings who could mirror human intelligence and autonomy is not a modern endeavor, as the Greek legends tell us. It's a theme that's been stitched into the very fabric of our human history, and it's a thread that will continue to pull as we journey further into our narrative. Through the lens of these ancient Greek myths, we can perceive the early glimmers of what would eventually become our modern quest for artificial intelligence. The tales of Hephaestus and his automatons capture the human aspiration to birth life from lifelessness, to command and manipulate our world in ways that mirror our own dynamism and intelligence. The Greeks may have couched it in the language of myth and divinity, but the dream is strikingly familiar, isn't it? A dream that we, in our modern world, continue to pursue with unabated passion. The aspiration to create lifelike entities isn't just the purview of Western mythologies. In fact, ancient Eastern tales too echo this enduring human fascination. As the world of Greece and its tales of divine automatons give way, you find yourself in a vastly different landscape. Picture the ancient Eastern societies, places like China, India, Persia, where the same yearning to mimic life and consciousness began to take shape in different forms. In this cultural mosaic, you'll encounter the concept of homunculi. To understand the essence of homunculi, imagine yourself as an alchemist in these ancient societies. You are immersed in an era when alchemy, the precursor to modern chemistry, was regarded as a profound mystical discipline. It's a world of symbols and sigils, of precious metals and elixirs, where the boundaries between science, magic, and philosophy are blurred. The concept of the homunculus was not just about the physical creation of a miniature human, but it was intertwined with deeper philosophical, mystical, and spiritual beliefs. They were believed to be created by complex alchemical recipes, often requiring obscure materials, long periods of incubation, and an intricate knowledge of astrological alignments. As an alchemist, the creation of a homunculus would have been the pinnacle of your craft, a testament to your understanding of the secrets of life itself. Try to imagine the significance of this idea, the creation of an entirely new being within the cultural context of these societies. It wasn't just about emulating life, but it spoke to a broader ambition of transcending human boundaries, of delving into the mysteries of existence itself. For a common man in these societies, hearing the tales of alchemists creating a homunculus would have elicited a sense of both awe and dread. It hinted at the power of arcane knowledge, the tantalizing possibility of human ingenuity crossing into the realm of the gods. However, these Eastern tales of homunculi weren't simply about the ambition of creation. They were layered with ethical connotations. Many narratives would caution that these artificial humans, once created, often led to unpredictable consequences, highlighting a sobering realization. The act of creation carries responsibility. The stories served as a parable of sorts, highlighting the ethical complexities that the creation of autonomous lifelike beings entail, a conundrum that feels strikingly relevant in our modern journey towards artificial intelligence. Through these stories, the ancients were exploring themes that we grapple with even today: the intersection of creation and responsibility, of innovation and ethical considerations. A reminder that our quest for artificial life is not just a technological endeavor, but a deeply philosophical one. The echo of these homunculi tales reverberates in our modern corridors of AI ethics, reminding us that this path we tread is an old one, walked by many before us. Now here's a modern example, though for us it is still well in the past. We find ourselves in the misty islands of Britain in the 13th century. A time known as the High Middle Ages, a world of imposing castles, chivalrous knights, and robed clergy, where the rhythm of life was dictated by the turning of the seasons and the tolling of the church bell. A society teetering on the cusp of the Renaissance, yet deeply entrenched in medieval traditions and superstitions. Enter Roger Bacon, an embodiment of the intellectual transition from the Middle Ages to modernity. Bacon, an English philosopher and Franciscan friar, was an enigma wrapped in a monk's robe, a man whose ideas were as cutting-edge as they were contentious. To fully comprehend Bacon's impact, let's time travel back to 13th century England. Imagine you are an ordinary person in this era. The universe as you know it is a God-centric cosmos, neatly packaged within the confines of religion, the scriptures, and the church's teachings. Suddenly, a philosopher like Bacon strides in, tugging along ideas that stretch the limits of imagination and, dare I say, challenge established doctrines. Now let us delve deeper into one of Bacon's most audacious concepts, the alleged creation of a mechanical marvel, the brazen head. Picture a grand artifact cast from brass, crafted with the intricacies of a master watchmaker, with mechanisms hidden under a veneer of the fantastic. This wasn't simply an idol or statue, it was a testament to Bacon's innovative spirit, a creation teetering on the border of alchemy, and what today we would call rudimentary robotics. Let's paint a more vivid picture of the brazen head. According to the chronicles of those times, it was believed to possess the ability to answer any question posed to it. To the layperson of the time, knowledge was a slow accumulation of wisdom bestowed through divine inspiration or years of study under learned masters. Yet here was the brazen head, an entity that promised instantaneous answers, cutting across boundaries of human limitations. It was a 13th century version of a search engine or AI assistant, centuries before such things even entered our collective imagination. We must remember that Bacon lived in an era when mechanical contrivances were often intertwined with magic and mysticism. In the public consciousness, the brazen head became a symbol of unbounded knowledge, a mythical entity that could answer the unanswerable. The impact of the brazen head, as the legend spread across the land, was profound. It shook the societal foundations, challenging the church's monopoly on knowledge. Bacon, with his creation, was pushing the boundaries, using physical reality to achieve metaphysical aspirations. However, this heady adventure into the frontiers of knowledge was not without its risks. The church, which held sway over all intellectual discourse of the era, reportedly viewed Bacon's pursuits with suspicion. His ideas were seen as heretical, leading to his alleged incarceration. And the brazen head, this grand experiment in knowledge on demand, was purportedly destroyed. Through the tale of the brazen head, we observe a recurring theme in human history, the tension between rapid innovation and societal norms, between the thirst for knowledge and the fear of the unknown. This resonates with the apprehensions around AI in our current age, serving as a stark reminder that all scientific progress comes with its unique set of challenges. Thus, from the annals of the past, the story of Roger Bacon's brazen head stands as a precursor to our modern AI dreams, a harbinger of boundless possibilities, societal upheaval, and the struggle for acceptance. Roger Bacon was in some ways the herald of a new era, when science, reason, and critical thought were taking center stage. It was during this period of great intellectual ferment that the concept of artificial intelligence began to evolve from the realm of mythology and mystique to the disciplined rigor of scientific investigation. The seeds of AI as a discipline were planted in the fertile minds of philosophers and mathematicians who dared to dissect the nature of human thought itself. Imagine for a moment that you are in the lecture halls of the 17th century, amidst the crackling energy of intellectual debate and the clatter of quill on parchment. In the middle of it all, a towering figure stands out, René Descartes. Born in La Haye-en-Touraine, France, in 1596, Descartes was a polymath who left an indelible mark on numerous fields, including mathematics, philosophy, and scientific inquiry. Today, he is revered as the father of modern philosophy, his work having sparked a revolution in the way we seek and understand knowledge. At the heart of Descartes' philosophy was the concept of Cartesian dualism. With his famous proclamation, cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am, he drew a sharp line separating the mind from the body, the immaterial world of thought from the physical world of action. Just picture the upheaval this thought must have caused at the time, the paradigm shift it presented. Suddenly, human consciousness was seen as distinct from the physical world, opening a Pandora's box of philosophical inquiries about the nature of intelligence. In the 17th century world that Descartes inhabited, rational thinking was the cornerstone of human consciousness, the faculty that distinguished us from beasts. It was this emphasis on reason that led to the question, could such a faculty be mechanized? Could we construct beings, even mechanical ones, that could emulate human reasoning using mathematical and mechanical principles? Descartes' contribution to mathematics was monumental. Coordinate geometry, the system that lets us plot the mysteries of the universe on a graph, and significant advances in algebraic equations owe their existence to his genius. Imagine being a scholar at that time, witnessing the birth of these ideas, the convergence of philosophy and mathematics, a cerebral dance that would later give birth to the field of artificial intelligence. In Discourse on the Method, he proposed a mechanical philosophy, one where natural phenomena, even cognition, could be explained through mechanical processes. These philosophies would lay the groundwork for the future of AI, where understanding and replicating human intelligence became interwoven with the creation of autonomous beings. Imagine yourself now, standing on the shoulders of giants like Descartes. We're in an era where artificial intelligence is no longer the stuff of folklore or the playthings of gods. It has become a scientific discipline in its own right, shaped by the inquiries of philosophers and scientists of yore. Descartes' legacy is imprinted in every line of AI code, every algorithm that emulates a fragment of human cognition, every robotic arm that replicates a human action. His philosophical inquiries have morphed into a scientific quest, one that continues to grapple with the mysteries of consciousness, intelligence, and the potential of artificial beings. It's a testament to the timeless nature of human curiosity, a quest that has spanned from the mythical golems and Hephaestus creations, through the homunculi and brazen heads, right up to the dawn of AI as a scientific discipline. Descartes' work was a milestone on the journey towards creating artificial intelligence. But, dear listener, as you well know, our journey does not end here. From the philosophical inquiries of the Enlightenment, we now move towards a more tangible realization of AI. A reality where artificial beings are not just the subject of speculation, but a tangible reality. The curtain is just beginning to rise on the fascinating drama that is the history of AI. Beneath the glittering chandeliers and the silk-draped salons of 18th century Vienna, a curious spectacle awaited the society elite. A chess player like no other, this wasn't a decorated grandmaster or a brilliant prodigy, but a mechanical contraption seated at a wooden cabinet. This was no ordinary machine. This was the Mechanical Turk, an automaton that stirred the pot of public imagination and philosophical debate across continents. Austrian polymath Wolfgang von Kempelen, a man known for his contributions to fields as diverse as engineering, linguistics, and music, was the mastermind behind this marvel. Picture a man in his prime living in the Age of Enlightenment, unveiling in 1770, a creation that would make waves across the globe. The Mechanical Turk was more than just a spectacle. It was an elaborate figure dressed in Turkish attire, seated at a wooden cabinet with a chessboard in front of him. This automaton, so it claimed, could not only play chess but also defeat renowned figures of the day, such as Benjamin Franklin and Napoleon Bonaparte. Imagine the hushed silence as the mechanical hand moved the chess pieces across the board, the rising gasps as another celebrated player fell to this inanimate opponent. The Turk was a marvel, a mechanical wonder that astounded and mystified its audience. The Turk's seeming intellectual prowess was the spark that set minds on fire. Could a machine possess a mind? Could it exhibit intellect akin to that of a human? This mysterious automaton, an enigma of wood and gears, stoked debates about the potential for machines to attain autonomy. However, at its heart, the Turk was a brilliant illusion. Hidden within the cabinet, a human operator maneuvered the gears and levers, guiding the automaton's hands across the chessboard. It was a grand deception. What set the Mechanical Turk apart was not its hidden human element, but its lasting impact on the public perception of artificial intelligence. The questions it raised, the philosophical inquiries it sparked about the nature of intelligence, the potential of automating complex tasks, and the blurred line between human and machine, these were the seeds it sowed in the fertile ground of public imagination. The Turk symbolized the age's fascination with automata, the dream of creating machines that could mimic human actions. It embodied the spirit of the Enlightenment, of the relentless pursuit of knowledge and discovery. Just imagine a chess-playing automaton as a representation of what science and engineering could achieve, bridging the gap between ancient myths of animated statues and the tangible advancements of the modern age. It stoked the public's fascination and desire to bring artificial beings to life, a flame that had been kindled in the tales of Prometheus and Pygmalion. The performances of the Turk held spectators captive, sparking an intrigue around machines that could simulate human cognition. It's a direct precursor to the discussions we're having today about artificial intelligence. The Mechanical Turk, in its own way, played a pivotal role in shaping the narrative of AI. And that's something worth marveling at. Imagine the landscape of the 20th century, a time teeming with discovery and innovation, a time when humanity dared to reach for the stars. Amid this backdrop of progress, a new field began to emerge, quietly taking root at the intersection of numerous disciplines. A field that would forever change the human-machine relationship, shaping the contours of what we now call artificial intelligence, the field of cybernetics. In the heart of this revolution, there stood one man, Norbert Wiener, a prodigious mathematician and philosopher. Born in 1894, Wiener was no ordinary intellect. From a very early age, his prodigious talent was evident. He was the kind of child who saw the world in equations and patterns, who could grasp the complex and the abstract in ways that baffled adults. By his teenage years, Wiener was already making his mark, publishing groundbreaking research in the field of mathematical logic. Wiener was a product of renowned academic institutions, where he didn't merely learn but sought to traverse the expanse of knowledge. His approach was multidisciplinary, flitting from pure mathematics to philosophy to engineering. This ability to synthesize knowledge across fields would prove instrumental in the birth of cybernetics, a field that drew inspiration from every corner of human inquiry. In the 1940s, Wiener introduced the world to a term that would echo down the corridors of time: cybernetics, a term derived from the Greek word kubernetes, meaning steersman or governor. At its heart, cybernetics was about systems, about their ability to process feedback from their environment and adjust accordingly. It was about self-regulation and control, a fascination Wiener harbored regarding how both living organisms and machines communicated and controlled their own processes. Fast forward to 1948, when Wiener published his seminal work, Cybernetics, or Control and Communication in the Animal and the Machine. It was a groundbreaking text that articulated the principles of this nascent discipline. Wiener examined the parallels between biological organisms and mechanical systems, emphasizing the pivotal role of feedback loops in maintaining stability and adaptability. But cybernetics was not confined to the realm of theory. It had practical applications that quickly rippled through various fields. Picture engineers poring over designs of control systems, tapping into the concept of feedback mechanisms to regulate processes in industrial settings. From maintaining temperature in manufacturing units to fine-tuning guidance systems in missile technology, the footprints of cybernetics could be found everywhere. The advent of cybernetics had a profound impact on the scientific community. It encouraged collaboration, breaking down the silos between disciplines. Cybernetics provided a new lens to explore biological processes and laid the groundwork for the study of neural networks, which would later become the scaffolding on which modern AI was built. Take a moment to step back and appreciate the magnitude of Wiener's contribution. Born out of the desire to understand self-regulating systems, cybernetics blazed a trail for technological advancements and deeply influenced our understanding of both machines and ourselves. It's a fascinating chapter in the annals of artificial intelligence, one that shaped not just the discourse on AI, but also our relationship with machines. As we traverse through the corridors of history, we find ourselves stepping out from the age of mechanical marvels and cybernetic systems into the transformative landscape of the 1950s. It was a time when the world was bearing the weight of the recently concluded World War II, bracing against the chill of the Cold War and peering anxiously into the dawn of the nuclear age. Amidst this tumultuous period, a British mathematician named Alan Turing emerged with a revolutionary idea, one that would stretch the limits of human imagination. This idea, known as the Turing test, would become a key milestone in the grand saga of artificial intelligence, promising a new era where machines could mimic the human mind, forever altering the course of human-machine interaction. Alan Turing, born in 1912, was no ordinary intellect. He had a mind that danced with numbers and logic, a mind that was captivated by the tantalizing mysteries of computation and intelligence. He was a pioneer in the field of mathematical logic, exploring the theoretical landscape of computation and the possibilities of creating machines capable of mimicking human thought. Imagine Turing sitting in his study, surrounded by heaps of papers scribbled with equations, driven by the profound desire to decode the puzzle of intelligence. In 1950, Turing gave the world a glimpse of his vision in a seminal paper titled Computing Machinery and Intelligence. In this work, he proposed a test to ascertain whether a machine could exhibit human-like intelligence. Picture this: a machine engaged in a natural language conversation with a human evaluator. And if the machine could convince the evaluator that they were interacting with another human, it would pass the Turing test. It was a simple yet profound experiment, one that sought to answer the primal question: could machines possess human-like intelligence? The implications of the Turing test were staggering. It was like throwing a pebble into a quiet lake, the ripples reaching far and wide. It sparked the imaginations not just of scientists, but also of the general public. Imagine the public, huddled around their radio sets, their eyes wide with awe and apprehension as they listened to discussions about a future where machines could rival human intelligence. The Turing test stirred fundamental questions about consciousness, cognition, and the essence of what it means to be human. The Turing test also acted as a catalyst, propelling the field of AI research forward. It inspired scientists and engineers to explore the daunting yet exciting terrain of creating intelligent machines. Turing's work offered a framework for developing AI systems that could simulate human-like responses and engage in meaningful interactions with users, a goal that even today stands at the cutting edge of AI research. However, the Turing test also brought forth ethical considerations. As the field of AI advanced, questions started emerging about the moral implications of creating machines that could convincingly mimic human emotions and behaviors. Imagine the ethical quandaries that sprouted in the minds of researchers and ethicists alike. What are our responsibilities when creating intelligent machines? What does it mean to have machines so closely mimic human behavior? Moreover, the Turing test stirred debates about the boundaries of intelligence. How do we define and measure artificial intelligence? Even Turing himself acknowledged the difficulty of providing a precise definition of intelligence. So, as we delve into the narrative of artificial intelligence, we see the Turing test as a pivotal moment in this grand tapestry. It's not just about machines passing a test, but it's about humanity, grappling with the very nature of intelligence, consciousness, and what it means to be human in a world where machines can mimic us so convincingly. Alan Turing's vision, born amidst the tumult of the 1950s, still resonates with us today, a testament to the profound impact of his work. Now, picture this, my friends. The year is 1956. The world is in the throes of the Cold War, Sputnik is but a twinkle in the Soviet Union's eye, and the United States, feeling the echoes of Turing's groundbreaking test, is on the precipice of a scientific breakthrough that would forever shape our reality. Nestled in the green hills of New Hampshire and the hallowed halls of Dartmouth College, a group of remarkable men gather. These men were no ordinary scholars. They were visionaries, giants in their respective fields. Among them were John McCarthy, an ambitious mathematician with a penchant for the abstract; Marvin Minsky, a curious philosopher whose ideas transcended the norm; Nathaniel Rochester, IBM's brilliant architect and a force to be reckoned with; and Claude Shannon, the so-called father of information theory. This motley crew of intellectuals had come together with a shared purpose that would mark a new dawn in the annals of scientific history. The Dartmouth Conference, as it came to be known, was, in many ways, a culmination of Alan Turing's legacy. Turing's theoretical groundwork and the tantalizing vision of machines capable of human-like intelligence had set the stage for this extraordinary gathering. Scientists from around the globe, inspired by Turing's concept, had taken up the mantle of his vision, striving to unravel the enigma of cognition and machine intelligence. Think of the Dartmouth Conference as a crucible, a meeting point for researchers hailing from different walks of academic life, each with their unique perspective on AI. This conference served as a platform for these diverse minds to discuss, dissect, and deliberate on the fundamental principles of intelligent machines and the direction of AI as a nascent field of scientific endeavor. It was here, in this confluence of curious minds and groundbreaking ideas, that the term artificial intelligence was born. From that point onward, AI became a beacon that guided the field, marking it as a distinct discipline, separate from the rest, with a mission to recreate human intelligence within a machine. The Dartmouth Conference left an indelible mark on the scientific landscape, charting the course of artificial intelligence for generations to come. Following the conference, the Dartmouth participants, united in their common purpose, set out to pioneer AI as a systematic field of study. They identified the hurdles, the areas of focus, and the uncharted territories of research, paving the way for unprecedented experimentation in AI. Their audacious goal? To create machines that could learn from experience, a concept that today forms the bedrock of modern AI. This relentless pursuit of machine learning algorithms served as the scaffolding for AI systems capable of adapting and refining their performance, a revolution that would permeate industries ranging from healthcare and finance to transportation and entertainment. Furthermore, the Dartmouth Conference heralded a new age of interdisciplinary cooperation. It brought together scholars from a myriad of fields such as computer science, mathematics, philosophy, neuroscience, and linguistics, all contributing their invaluable expertise to the fascinating study of artificial intelligence. Indeed, the Dartmouth Conference marked the official birth of AI as a scientific field and charted the course for the exciting journey that lay ahead. A long way from the golems and automatons of myth. By 1958, a few years have passed since that catalytic gathering at Dartmouth, and the pioneers who emerged from that conference have spread far and wide, sowing the seeds of artificial intelligence in their respective fields. Among these visionaries, a man named Frank Rosenblatt stands out, with his eyes set on the far horizon of the future. At Cornell's Aeronautical Laboratory, Rosenblatt is about to introduce a paradigm-shifting invention, the perceptron. But before we delve into the perceptron, let's take a moment to understand the concept that forms the backbone of this revolutionary invention: neural networks. Neural networks, in essence, attempt to mimic the workings of our human brain. Imagine it like this. Your brain, an incredible, highly complex organ, contains billions of neurons, all interconnected, sending and receiving signals, helping you perceive the world, make decisions, and learn new things. In the 1940s, the early models of neural networks, like the McCulloch-Pitts neuron, tried to simulate this process in a simplified form. But it wasn't until the perceptron came along that these theoretical models were brought closer to reality. The introduction of neural networks brought about a radical rethinking of computation and intelligence. These models of artificial brains were not just systems that followed instructions, but systems that could learn from their mistakes, adapt to changes, systems that, in a way, could think. Today, neural networks form the foundation of deep learning, a subset of AI that's behind many of the technological wonders we see around us, from self-driving cars to virtual assistants to advanced diagnostic tools in healthcare. So, back to Rosenblatt and his groundbreaking perceptron. The perceptron was the first machine that could learn from its environment, a feat it achieved through a system of adjustable weights and thresholds that processed input data to produce binary outputs. It was an astonishingly innovative concept, and the perceptron was capable of something truly unique. It could be taught to recognize patterns and make accurate classifications, a feature that unveiled vast possibilities for complex problem solving and set the stage for advancements in fields as varied as image recognition, speech processing, and predictive analytics. Rosenblatt's perceptron was a pivotal moment in the history of artificial intelligence, signaling the potential of neural networks in mimicking human cognition. It wasn't until the 1970s that a concept called the expert system would rise to prominence, a breakthrough that would, in turn, shape the future of artificial intelligence. At the center of this narrative is Mycin, a software that not only revolutionized the field of AI, but also became an emblem of what expert systems could achieve. Before we delve deeper into the tale of Mycin, let's pause for a moment to understand what expert systems are. At a fundamental level, expert systems are AI programs designed to solve complex problems by mimicking the decision-making abilities of human experts in specific domains. They encapsulate a particular type of AI application that focuses on knowledge and reasoning rather than just data and patterns. With this understanding, let's return to the tale of Mycin. Developed at Stanford University under the stewardship of Edward Shortliff, MySyn was an expert system that showcased the potential of AI in the realm of medical diagnostics. It was tailored for diagnosing bacterial infections and suggesting treatment options. But how did MySyn accomplish this task? At its core, MySyn was a rule-based system, a collection of if-then rules that encoded the knowledge and expertise of experienced clinicians. Each case presented to MySyn set in motion a chain of reasoning, with each rule pointing the way to the next based on the patient's symptoms, medical history, and test results. MySyn illustrated the power of domain-specific AI. It was no longer just about raw computational power. It was about harnessing and applying specific human knowledge. MySyn's influence seeped into other fields as well, from finance and engineering to environmental science. However, MySyn was not without its challenges. It demonstrated the limitations of rule-based systems, their lack of flexibility and adaptability when faced with complex, nuanced scenarios. The struggles of MySyn reminded researchers of the need for more sophisticated reasoning methods in AI. As we descend from the heights of MySyn and the promise of expert systems, we find ourselves venturing into a chillier period of AI history. We're entering an era that stands as a stark contrast to the optimism that marked the field's early years, a season aptly named the AI Winter. Between the 1970s and 80s, the field of artificial intelligence entered a phase that tested the mettle of its most dedicated explorers. But what, you might ask, could trigger such a bleak period? Well, it's a tale of grandiose dreams, technological limitations, and perhaps a touch of human hubris. AI pioneers, folks like Marvin Minsky and John McCarthy, had set the bar extraordinarily high. They confidently predicted that human-level artificial intelligence, a machine equal to us in cognitive capabilities, would be realized within a matter of decades. The boldness of this forecast was intoxicating, and it sparked a flurry of interest and investment. However, as is often the case with pioneering ventures, reality proved to be more stubborn than the dream. The grandiose promises of AI's early prophets were not coming to pass as quickly as they had hoped. The expert systems, although impressive, were not the fully autonomous human-like intelligences they had prophesied. The glow of early enthusiasm began to fade, and with it, the generous flow of funding that had been fueling AI research. The technologies of the day, primitive by our current standards, were another nail in the coffin. Computers were but toddlers, stumbling and tripping over tasks we'd now consider trivial. Their memory capacities were minuscule and their computational abilities limited. The Herculean task of building a machine mind, something that could learn and think like a human, was simply too much for these technological fledglings. The AI winter, as harsh as it wasn't merely a period of stagnation and despair. It was a time of introspection, a forced reevaluation of the strategies and goals of the AI community. Researchers began to focus on more attainable targets, building narrow AI applications designed to excel in specific areas rather than replicating the full gamut of human cognition. Despite the chill, the AI winter served a crucial role in the history of artificial intelligence. It was a sobering wake-up call that tempered the overblown expectations of the early years, injecting a sense of realism into the field. It was a trial by frost, and those who emerged on the other side were ready to lead the field into a new era, sparking the resurgence of AI in the late 1990s and beyond. The lessons learned in this cold period continue to guide AI research today, a stark reminder of the gap between ambition and reality. Just as winter gives way to spring, the frozen era of AI began to thaw as we ventured into the 1980s and 90s. Hope blossomed anew in the form of an old concept invigorated by the fresh winds of progress: neural networks. These computational models, emulating the human brain, had once shown immense promise before being mired in the frost of the AI winter. Now, they were about to experience a resurgence, a second chance at glory that would fundamentally transform the landscape of artificial intelligence. In the verdant gardens of AI research, a trio of visionaries, Geoffrey Hinton, Yann LeCun, and Yoshua Bengio, were about to plant seeds that would eventually grow into the towering oaks of modern AI. They harnessed a powerful learning algorithm known as backpropagation, which essentially allowed a neural network to learn from its mistakes. Backpropagation, you see, is a method for adjusting the weights of a neural network in response to the error of its output. In essence, it's a way for the network to reflect on its actions, recognize where it went wrong, and adjust its behavior accordingly, much like we humans do when we learn from our blunders. Armed with backpropagation and the surging power of increasingly potent computers, these researchers began to assemble larger, deeper neural networks. These advanced models could handle vast amounts of data and perform complex tasks with a degree of proficiency that was simply unthinkable in the previous era. The computers of the 80s and 90s, in comparison to their earlier counterparts, were like finely tuned orchestras in place of solitary flutes, their enhanced memory and processing power humming harmoniously to compose an intricate symphony of artificial intelligence. This renaissance of neural networks breathed new life into fields like pattern recognition, speech recognition, and natural language processing. The once lofty promises of AI started to manifest in practical applications. Researchers demonstrated the potency of neural networks in tasks that once seemed the exclusive domain of humans, recognizing faces in a crowd, understanding spoken words, and even deciphering the subtle nuances of human language. This revival also inspired the creation of specialized neural network architectures, convolutional neural networks, CNNs, for image processing, and recurrent neural networks, RNNs, for sequential data. These architectures, tailored to the unique demands of their tasks, paved the way for modern AI marvels such as self-driving cars, personal assistants like Siri and Alexa, and revolutionary healthcare applications. The resurgence of neural networks in the 1980s and 90s was a turning point of monumental significance in the narrative of artificial intelligence. It breathed life back into a field that had been buried in skepticism and disappointment. The breakthroughs of this era laid the foundation for the explosive growth of AI in the 21st century, a period known as the deep learning revolution. The frost of the AI winter finally gave way to a vibrant spring, setting the stage for an AI-powered world that continues to shape our technological landscape today. So, buckle up, my friends, as the journey is just getting started. As the tendrils of artificial intelligence crept into various corners of society, unfurling in intriguing and sometimes unforeseen ways, one of the most captivating dramas in the history of AI was being set in motion. It was a clash of titans, a challenge that would indelibly shape the narrative of AI. Let's peel back the layers and understand the entities, human and mechanical, at the center of this extraordinary moment. Picture the world of chess in the mid-1990s. The reigning champion, Garry Kasparov, was an extraordinary individual. Born in 1963 in Baku, Azerbaijan, his prodigious talent was evident from a young age. He became the youngest world chess champion at the age of 22 in 1985. With an aggressive and dynamic style, he dominated the world of chess, felling opponents with his superior strategic acumen. His reputation as a grandmaster was well established and seemingly unshakable. Across the ocean, in the hallowed halls of IBM in the United States, a different kind of titan was being crafted, Deep Blue. The architects of this metallic beast were a team of computer scientists, including Feng-Hsiung Hsu, Murray Campbell, and Thomas Anantharaman. This ambitious project had begun in the 1980s, and the goal was straightforward yet staggeringly audacious: to build a machine that could play chess at the level of the world's best human players. Deep Blue was an engineering marvel. Its ability to calculate around 200 million possible positions per second was unparalleled at the time. However, what made it unique was its two-pronged approach. In addition to raw computing power, it had a database of opening and endgame moves, gleaned from decades of grandmaster-level chess matches. It was this combination of brute force and strategic finesse that gave it the edge. In 1996, the stage was set for the first encounter between the human champion and the mechanical contender. Despite a stunning initial victory by Deep Blue in the first game, Kasparov rebounded and eventually clinched the match. But the gauntlet had been thrown, and the world had caught a glimpse of what AI could achieve. A year later, in 1997, the pieces were once again arranged on the chessboard. Deep Blue had been refined, enhanced, and was ready to challenge Kasparov once more. Its computational prowess had been amplified, and the team had incorporated the lessons from the previous loss. The rematch was a highly publicized event, watched by millions around the world. After an intense battle, the unthinkable happened. Deep Blue defeated Kasparov. This victory was not just a win for Deep Blue or IBM. It was a pivotal moment in the story of AI. It sparked intense debates, introspection, and exploration of the potential and the pitfalls of artificial intelligence. The landscape had been forever changed. As humanity looked toward the new millennium, we did so with the knowledge that machines had the potential to match and even surpass human intellect in some of the most complex domains. This was the world Deep Blue versus Garry Kasparov had birthed, and there was no going back. As we turn the page into the new millennium, we now arrive at an era that's within many of our living memories, a period of transformation that changed our relationship with technology in fundamental ways. Picture the dawning of the 21st century, the explosion of the internet, the sudden ubiquity of digital connections, and the birth of social media. These advancements heralded the rise of a new phenomenon, big data. And within this vast expanse of digital information, a sleeping giant awoke, forever changing the field of AI. The era I'm referring to, the early 2000s, wasn't just about the proliferation of new technologies or the mass adoption of the internet. No, it was the dawn of a digital deluge, a tsunami of data so massive that it dwarfed everything we had previously imagined. The world, ever more interconnected, was generating data at an unprecedented scale. Every click, every tweet, every online transaction fed this growing behemoth. And here lay a challenge as immense as the opportunity it presented. Traditional means of making sense of this data were akin to trying to catch a river with a fishing net. A new approach was needed, and this necessity breathed new life into a subset of AI, machine learning. Machine learning algorithms, with their ability to identify patterns and make predictions from complex datasets, provided the key to unlock the treasures hidden within the vast realms of big data. To illustrate, imagine teaching yourself a new language solely by immersion, without any guidance or translations. You start picking up patterns, making connections, and over time, you understand the language. That's the essence of machine learning, enabling AI to learn from data without explicit programming. This was the time when people like Andrew Ng, a luminary in the field of AI, pioneered the use of large-scale data for machine learning. His groundbreaking work at Stanford, Google, and Baidu was instrumental in driving forward the data-driven approach to AI. The convergence of big data and machine learning spurred a revolution in AI applications. It brought us closer to science fiction than we ever were, from personal assistants that could understand and respond in human language to recommendation systems that could predict our preferences and autonomous vehicles navigating our roads. And these innovations were not confined to tech companies alone. They permeated sectors like finance, healthcare, and transportation, making AI an integral part of our everyday lives. For those of us who lived through this era, we witnessed firsthand the transition from a world where AI was theoretical and distant to one where it was practical and intimately entwined with our lives. The following decade heralded a fundamental shift in the AI landscape, a veritable revolution that brought forth the advent of deep learning. Now, deep learning, a term that has become part of our everyday lingo, is often intertwined with machine learning. However, while they share a common goal, enabling machines to learn from data, they differ in their approaches. Let's start with machine learning. Think of machine learning as the foundation of modern AI, a method that uses statistical techniques to enable machines to improve their performance on a specific task over time, learning from past data. The algorithms in machine learning work directly with the raw inputs, tweaking their operations to predict the output more accurately. Deep learning, on the other hand, is a specialized subset of machine learning. The key difference lies in how it learns from the data. Rather than manually designing the feature extraction algorithms, as in traditional machine learning, deep learning algorithms are structured to automatically learn and extract meaningful features from raw data. It does this by simulating a virtual network of neurons organized in multiple layers, each layer learning to extract a more abstract and complex feature than the previous one. This ability to understand data in a more hierarchical way allows deep learning models to handle very complex tasks with a level of accuracy that often surpasses even humans. The ignition spark for this revolution came in the form of the ImageNet competition in 2012. It was during this competition that a deep learning model, AlexNet, astoundingly outperformed traditional machine learning models in the task of image classification, a milestone event that triggered a seismic shift in the realm of computer vision. After this groundbreaking success, researchers and companies worldwide started investing heavily in deep learning, leading to an explosion of new architectures, models, and applications. As the wave of deep learning started to roll, it didn't confine itself to the shores of computer vision. It surged forward, breaking into domains like natural language processing and speech recognition, driving unprecedented advancements in language translation, sentiment analysis, and voice assistance. The impacts of this deep learning revolution were felt far and wide. From healthcare to finance, from autonomous vehicles to marketing, various industries started integrating deep learning into their operations. This deep learning revolution, in essence, marked a paradigm shift in how AI operates, how it learns from data, and how it performs complex tasks. This paradigm shift served as the foundation of the present-day AI revolution and sets the stage for the world as we know it to be transformed. In this episode, we've navigated the complex tapestry of human aspiration to mirror our intellect in artificial constructs. The thread that weaves through ancient myths to contemporary algorithms is a profound yearning to replicate our cognitive abilities outside ourselves. As we look to the future, we'll explore both the promise and the peril inherent in this timeless human endeavor. Join me next time on Beyond the Box, the Pandora's Code Companion podcast.